You've got people like Sam Harris that would say, well, actually, we can science our way towards moral facts.
Yeah, he doesn't science his way to moral facts. So what Sam Harris does is the best short introduction to Sam Harris, he gives this TED talk on the subject of when his book, The Moral Landscape, came out. And he basically says, well, of course, there are scientific answers to moral questions because there are scientific answers to the questions of how to promote human flourishing. And I thought, yes, there are scientific answers to the question of how to promote human flourishing, but those aren't moral facts.
No.
The moral fact would be something along the lines of, you ought to promote human flourishing, and science doesn't tell you that.
No, that's a significant difference of where you start. And I found Sam Harris's whole book to be floundering on just that premise of this idea that flourishing is any way to base our morality on, and who's flourishing. What if the option is one or the other? Do we only promote by flourishing?
Well, I remember. I suppose you could adopt for a utilitarian approach, the flourishing of the many as opposed to the flourishing of the one. I remember towards the end of, I think it was his debate with William Lane Craig, where he reproduced all of his errors, and he was challenging Bill. I can call him Bill. I have a PhD as well, you see. He was challenging him on the whole notion that atheism doesn't provide a foundation for morality, and he was saying something along the lines of, look, we know how, there are some things that are just obvious. He said, take two outcomes, or consider the possibility of someone suffering as much as is humanly possible for their entire life. There are facts about how we can stop that. And he said, and if we have any obligations at all, we have an obligation to do that. You don't realize that the whole issue is hiding under the rock of, if we have any obligations at all.
Yeah. Well, that's like a feature of morality is that there's an oughtness to it, and so he doesn't have any. He's not able to bridge from a statement of fact about the world to why that ought to be the case.
Yeah. Why should the world be a certain way?